When women do better, economies do better, said by Christine Lagarde. The pay gap has been something that has been affecting women for decades, and it is time that they are actually able to receive compensation for all the work that they do. So, today I am going to discuss how women should earn equal pay as men in the same work field in order to decrease the amount of discrimination and sexism that is present in terms of payroll. I always have read articles about this topic, and I always felt bad for these women who receive less money than men who are doing the same work as men. I also am a really big advocate for women's rights, so I honestly believe that this is a really big topic that needs to be discussed. So the two main points that I'm going to be talking about today will be the problem of how women are receiving less money than men and the solution of how it can get done and how we can shut this out for good. So, the problem. Women earn less money than men, which is creating a pay gap, and they don't receive pay equity. You might ask now, what is the pay gap and what is pay equity? Well, the pay gap is the difference of pay between two groups, these groups being men and women, and the pay equity is the equal pay for doing the work of equal value. Up until the 1960s, the Equal Pay Act was put into place, helping women receive money, the same amount of money as men for doing the same amount of work. But even with the Equal Pay Act, the women were not receiving the same amount of money. A contender that helped advance the history of the pay gap was asking women their salary history when in interviews, which involuntarily determined how much money they would make at the current job that they was trying to get. On top of gender being a really big factor in the pay gap, race was also a really big factor. Asian women made the most in terms of a median earning, then white women, then black women, and then Hispanic women. An average 20-year-old woman who is working a 40-year career loses over $400,000 in comparison to her male counterpart. So if a male decides he wants to retire at 60, the average woman would have to retire at 70 years old in order to make sure that she makes the same amount of money as the man who retired 10 years before her. 98% of the occupations that have a gender wage are based off of 4 sole reasons, these reasons being right here. An example of this is the woman named Lily Ledbetter, who worked for Goodyear Tire for 19 years and didn't even realize that she was earning 15 all the way up to 40% less than her male counterparts. This problem has been going on for decades, and it is now time for a solution. Okay, now the solution. Women have been actually receiving some of the equal pay that they deserve, and many states and organizations have been taking the time to sit and fix these pay equity laws so that women can receive the compensation that they deserve. 60% of U.S. organizations have been working towards the pay gap and fixing some of the really big problems that have caused it, such as pay equity analysis, pay equity adjustment and remediation strategies, and also fixing and finding some of the main causes that have done the damage of the pay gap. Several states have started to ban questioning salary history, which cannot hinder women from being discriminated against how much money they used to make on how much money that they are going to make currently. Some of the pay equity laws have been expanded in multiple states, including 42 out of the 50 United States, and they have been working to help fix the discrimination of the pay gap against minorities and genders such as women. The state of California has been one of the first states to sit there and fix their problems against the pay equity laws and revise their pay equity laws so that women can receive equal pay. And the state of New York has also been doing their job to help fix the pay equity laws, because in their state, women are still receiving 15% less money than men. A website called the Human Resource Executive has a really good detailed plan about how certain companies can fix their pay equity laws and help give women the compensation that they need. Some of the actions that are taken against trying to fix the pay equity laws is raising the minimum wage, supporting fair scheduling practices, supporting pay transparency, and also making a broad family and medical insurance plan. So, when women do better, economies do better. Women should receive equal pay as men so that they will not be victimized and discriminated against how much money they make for the work that they do.